Demonic Angel. Today we are going to talk about the Ten of Pentacles. One of my favorite wholesome cards, you know, with little secrets in it. And that's, I love the detail in this card because there's just so much of it for, you know, especially for a minor arcana. But, so the you know, the 10 Pentacles, they are arranged in such a way that they are the Kabbalah tree of life. So the tree of life is also the tree of death, and the, you know, the 10 in this suit is the completion of the suit. You know, the full manifestation. So this is, you know, the full manifestation of life. And here in the corner we have a guy who is an older looking gentleman, and he's kind of sitting on this sort of earthly throne. And behind him, if you look really close, there's actually a portal with, you know, the black and gray area here. That is a portal, and it, you know, we can see in the distance that there's gray skies, there's mountains. So more uncertainty, more journey lies ahead, even though this guy's life is coming to an end. Now he's going to, you know, have a new way of being, manifesting into a new journey, because he's going, you know, into the next dimension. He has mastered and learned a lot now from the Earth suit, and it's time to perhaps move on to, you know, the realm of ideas in wands, or emotions and cups. But there's big changes ahead, and you know, the little emblems on his chair, you know, there really isn't a whole bunch of specific meaning that I've ever gotten from it, to be honest, other than these are sort of their symbols of their family, you know, the family crest, or the family, oh, what am I thinking about, guys? Those are those little, yeah, family crest, you know, where, very popular with Irish and Scottish families, and, you know, that is like the symbol of the family. So those adorn, you know, the archway, they adorn his chair. This is a very accomplished man. He is, you know, worked very hard for everything he's done. Because this guy, he's in the upright position, so he really gets it. He built a life for his family. He made his family name very powerful and strong, and he's going to pass that legacy onto his children. And because, of course, this is the Earth suit, there's going to be, you know, he's passing on financial legacy, also passing on a very hard work ethic, you know, the drive for competition, how to be around and you know, handle people in the business world. And he really has taught his children a lot of this knowledge, and leaving them this practical gift in the form of finances and land. You know, because we've got this, you know, we've got this kind of farm-looking place behind them. There's like a barn, and behind it, it looks like a little, but it's a little castle peeking up from behind the barn there. And that's like the vast expanse of this guy's estate. I mean, he's got this castle or this mansion, and then here he's got this barn, and there's just rows of trees. You know, look at how beautiful and fertile this earth is. And that's because, you know, he sees that it is that way. He tends to the land, has a personal connection and personal pride, you know, in doing such hobbies that, you know, many older people do enjoy, such as gardening. Some young people like it, but You know, those kinds of laid-back hobbies that older people have, bingo and gardening, but I think that maybe as we kind of grow into the Suit of Pentacles, we all kind of realize how happy, you know, the simple things in life make us, and it's really true. And it's a great way to just, you know, spend some time doing something simple. We kind of forget that, you know, when we're young. But yeah, so he likes all that stuff. And gosh, I mean, this guy has really prospered. The sun looking figure, you know, he's got this blue, well, what do I want to call it? It's almost like this blue shawl draped over him, kind of representing, you know, his knowledge, knowledge from, you know, he just got married. That's his beautiful young wife. And they have a child. And she's literally got one hand clinging to her mother's skirt or dress, and then the other one grabbing the dog's tail. So, you know, this couple, they're in love, but at the same time now they're really focusing on some practical aspects of being together, like raising children, making, you know, budgets, plans, attending to older family members, cherishing moments with them, turning the attention to the hearth and home together. All this is really still fresh and new for them, and there's just this contentment and excitement about being a family that I really love about this card. You know, so with the little boy, you know, he's the typical child that he's so young he clings to his mother. So, kind of indicating there might be other siblings in this situation that are going to come along for this family. They are, you know, of young childbearing age, and that's what they're starting. So, and because they have such a an amount of wealth, they can certainly have a lot of these children. But just also that the boy he's so young, he is still kind of frightened of the unknown in this way of, you know, don't venture too far from the parents, because they're his identity at that kind of an age. So he hasn't even hit that young child, I'm going to explore stuff age. It's like, I need to be with my mom to be safe stage. And he's just so young. So he is from the you know, when we talk about the dimension, this different dimension here, this is, this little boy has just come into the physical plane, the physical dimension, and he's still new at being alive, and you know, he has come through. You know, his parents have conceived him, and now he is here. So he is, you know, he is being brought here for this specific stage that is very full of innocence and purity in thought. Children, you know, they're very imaginative, and at that age really don't know too much of the difference of what's real and what's not, and how to, you know, communicate effectively. They're very dependent. So he's that young, innocent part of this polarity. On the other end of the polarity, though, we do have the grandfather. Now, if you look really close, the grandfather's petting one of the dogs. And to me, it almost looks like he's petting the same dog as his grandson. So they're both petting the same dog, the same, you know, spirit guide. Young children and old people are way more open to the paranormal and to, you know, seeing things like guides and angels, but also, you know, he is now this, like we said, this opposite end of the spectrum. He's at the very end of his life. He is, you know, we kind of almost assume that he's outlived like his wife, who isn't in this picture. This guy is really old and he is near death. I mean, he's still enjoying and he's making these new memories, but he's looking out on the rest of the family. He's kind of off to the side. You know, he's the observer. He has already lived this spectacular life, and now he's quiet and calm, a settled energy, kind of like as the sun sets. And that's what this guy really, you know, invokes for me. You know, but he's right next to the door because he's going to go back into, he's going to step from the physical plane into the astral plane. And, you know, he's not afraid. He's just sitting there, still enjoying his life. And I mean, in my mind, he's a very philosophical guy who is contemplating all these things, and he's really ready for the next stage of the journey. This is somebody who is, you know, really calm and settled about death because they've really have lived. And it's almost like some old people have described to me that they think of death as the you know, the next step in their journey. Like, you know, that idea about Peter Pan, death will be the best adventure. This guy, he's going to go on an adventure. That's the way he's really looked at life. And he's, you know, him and his grandson, they're not afraid. They're the most innocent people in this entire picture because of their, you know, opposite polarities of life and death. And the dogs represent that, you know, part of this guy's success is a little bit of help from the gods, karma, ancestors. This other element of protection, friendship, loyalty that comes into your life through the manifestation of like something like a familiar or guides. And that is, you know, it's kind of like, it's that little bit of extra luck that needs to be involved to be truly successful. You know, there is an aspect of luck, and that's kind of that reminder here for us too. You know, so that is this really upright kind of, you know, my ideas here on the Ten of Pentacles. But, you know, kind of in this reversed energy, this warning energy is going to be that this is, you know, just the loss of an inheritance, like siblings fighting and losing a home. And then, you know, if they would have cooperated, let's say, they could have kept the property. But instead, it's just this petty quarrels and then this loss of inheritance. That another kind of indication for me here would be that when the patriarch or matriarch of the family passes away, then we get like a devastation in the family. Like they were kind of the glue in the family that really kept everything together, and their death just kind of causes this ripple effect, and people just drift apart, or that, you know, they fight because that, you know, in life this person was kind of like a mediator, and you know, their gap just, it's unfortunate, I see it all the time, but you know, their gap is just not able to be filled. And it's unfortunate because I like to say that, you know, that's just letting fear and all that win. And it's sometimes it's very hard, but, you know, to focus on that your loved one would want you to be productive and sane and not arguing. You know, that is the real win for everybody. Anyway, that's just, you know, my little tangent, I suppose. Also, this is, you know, when it's upright, if you look at the picture, people really aren't looking at any of the pentacles. They're like, none of them are actually looking at the pentacles. So it's kind of like, hey, don't let these moments pass you by. Let's say you are a young family and you know, you just, somebody who overworks so much, they don't enjoy that point in the journey, the starting of a new family. They don't savor that. They don't really spend time paying attention to it. And when we don't pay attention to things, they pass us by. And that's how that works. And so, you know, it's when as we accumulate luxuries or we're given to them through inheritance, it's very easy to lose an appreciation or, you know, to keep track of how important and that much that elevates your life, because luxury is not necessary. And, you know, when everything is, you know, I mean, you could kind of pay for making your stress better the more money you have, and there's a good amount of things that come with that. But appreciate it. I mean, appreciate it, and you might not, you know, you're not going to always have it, no matter what. Even if, you know, being poor is another part of your journey that won't happen anytime soon. It still is going to apply to your ego at some point. That this is important to pay attention, treasure what you have. I mean, you know, all these different pentacles are a different aspect of life. You know, philanthropy. This could be, you know, saving up education for their child. This can be like, you know, hobbies, what money they put into their hobbies. This is, you know, their labor, their servants. But, you know, by keeping track of all these areas and being personally connected to them like the old man was, then, you know, things work very smoothly, because when you personally are attached to something, you know the details about it. And you keep track of all those facets in life, and time will feel like it's not going by so fast the more you stop and smell the roses, as they say. So anyway, guys, that is my 10 of Pentacles, and I will talk to you guys later.